Irvine. Are you guys ready for your next comedian? I can't hear you. Are you ready for your next comedian? This next comic coming to the stage just shot his first pilot called Terrible People. Put your hands together for the one, the only Keith Reza!
I just want to say before I start, no, I'm not the kid from 2.5 Men. I don't watch that show, it's filthy. I stuck to my New Year's resolution, guys. I haven't smoked a single cigarette all year. Huh? Come on, clap for that. Thank God I didn't give up smoking cigars, you know? I was promoting the show today on Facebook. I was like, hey, I'm at the Irvine Improv. Massage me for free tickets. But I meant to say message. So this guy comes up to me and he's like, I'm here to give you a massage. I was like, all right. So he gives me a massage, right? And we turn around and I have a little situation, you know? And he's like, that wasn't part of the deal. I was like, you want the free tickets or not? And he's all like, you better be worth it. Am I worth it yet? Earlier today I was driving and I saw a homeless guy playing the guitar, and I gave him $10, bought myself a new guitar. She's like, oh. A little about myself, when I was 13, I went to the doctor's and he said, Keith, because that was my name, I don't know if you heard Grant, but my name's Keith. And he said, Keith, you're autistic. I was like, sweet, I like to draw. He was like, no, you don't understand. You have a social disorder called Asperger's syndrome. And I was like, oh, what's that? He was like, oh, it's no big deal. You're just going to have a hard time making friends and you're never going to get laid. So then I was like, oh, well, can I still get to draw? I really do have autism, and after every single show, people always ask me that. I did a show a couple days ago, and this girl came up to me and she's like, hey, do you really have autism? And I was like, yeah. She's like, oh, you could hardly tell. So I was like, hey, are you really a girl? She's like, yeah. I was like, you could hardly tell. I always got picked on in school by this kid named Josh for having Asperger's, man. He used to beat me up and stuff, and he told me if I told anyone, he'd kill me. And that's very serious stuff, you know? So I came home one day with all these bruises and marks all over my face. My dad was like, Keith, what happened? I was like, oh, Josh did this to me, and he told me if I told anyone, he'd kill me, so I told the school you did it. I got a certification from my dad. It's pretty cool. I always knew I was different in school, too, because, like, kids would make paper airplanes, you know? And I would make paper airports. Having Asperger's is you're brutally honest and you tell the truth, so I don't think I've ever told a lie. And I'd always show up late for school because, you know, I was scared of being bullied and stuff. And when people show up late for school, you know, the teacher always asks us, why were you late? And people would be like, oh, I was up all night, you know, studying. Where's your homework? The dog ate it, you know? I was so honest, I'd show up late, you know, the teacher would be like, Keith, why were you late? And I was like, oh, I'm late because I was up all night watching porn. And she'd be like, where's your homework? I was like, you don't want my homework. Let's just give me a C. You ever see someone you didn't like in high school and you find out they have a worse job than you? That's like the greatest feeling, you know? I'm a struggling stand-up comedian, you know? Josh is homeless. I bought a guitar off him earlier. Having Asperger's is hard on dating, you know? I think just dating is just hard in general because there's all these dating sites out there. You know, there's eHarmony, Match.com, Megan's Law. And it gets confusing, and I don't see social cues. So like whenever I get a girl's phone number, I text it because I think that's what you do. But the problem is I don't see social cues, so I'll just keep texting. I'll be like, hey, send, how are you? Send, I'm at the Irvine Improv. Send, did you get my first text message? Send, it was hey, send. After like 500 text messages, she responds in all caps, stop texting me. So then I respond, do you prefer if I call? Happy face, son. No, man, it's hard. Like, I created a Facebook event to see who wanted to date me, And all 200 friends hit not attending. Except for my mom, she hit maybe. And she was all like, if you weren't my son, there's a strong possibility. I mean, it's sweet in a sick way. Whatever. I always say the wrong stuff on dates too, man. Like, whenever I go on a date, this girl was like, Keith, I want to get a dog. And I was seeing her for like 3 months, I was like, I don't want a dog. She's like, why not? Dogs are so cute. I was like, listen, I already have you to lick the peanut butter off my balls. I don't need a dog. If he had Asperger's, that joke's hilarious. I have autism and I'm doing comedy, so whatever. It's funny to me. That's usually when people clap. I just figured this whole place had, people didn't have any hands, They're all like doing the wave. That's what it's like having Asperger's. If you want to know what it's like having Asperger's, go to an Angel game. And when Angels are losing, just start a wave. One out of every 90 people will get it. I went to a massage parlor today, and guys play dumb on this one. But ladies, a massage parlor is a place where a guy goes for sex. It's true. 90% of men go to sex. Lord knows why for massage parlors. And I went and I got sex. So come on, clap for that, guys, huh? I didn't tip her because I don't believe in prostitution. That's illegal. Seriously though, I've lost 30 pounds. Thanks a lot, hostess. I went to the bank today to withdraw some money, and the bank teller said that I couldn't because I overdrew my account. I owe the bank, get this, $75. That's ridiculous, So I was like, all right, I guess I'll write you a check. They just get worse. Having Asperger's, it's hard on jobs, At my very first job, I was a babysitter, and that job sucked, man, because sitting on babies is uncomfortable. You're all like, stay put. But no, seriously, I work at a grocery store while I'm trying to be the next comic, And having Asperger's, that job sucks because you have to communicate with people, and I don't like communicating with people. It's very awkward for me. And this babies, I'm very sensitive to babies when they cry, But like if I cause it, I just find like joy in it, what I mean? So the other day, this kid wanted a candy bar, and he was like 4 or 5, And his mom's like, no, Jacob, no. And he starts hitting his mom, And his mom's like, Jacob, if you hit me one more time, you and me and you, we're gonna go round and round the merry-go-round. And Jacob's like 5, so he doesn't know what that means, So I just look at him, I'm all like, Jacob. Hit her. Merry-go-rounds are fun. She's a bad mom. I was watching TV the other day with this girl, you know, and 5 minutes into it, she looks at me and she's like, I don't like this movie's stupid. And I was like, yeah, this movie's stupid. So then we turn on a rated R movie, you know, and 5 minutes into it, she looks at me and she's like, I don't like this movie scares me. And I was like, yeah, this movie scares me too. So then we turn on a porno, you know. And when you have Asperger's, you don't get laid much, so you watch a lot of porn. I don't know if I explained that earlier. So we're all watching it, you know, and 5 minutes into it, she looks at me, you know, and she's like, oh, I wish you could do that to me. And I look at her, I'm like, you know, I only have one dick, right? I mean, I'll try, but it's not gonna look like that. I was supposed to give a shout out to my buddy Justin for his birthday, so I did that. You're welcome. See, I'm a nice guy. Asperger's are nice guys. They're not all jerks. I'll leave you guys on this one. I did a show at a bar the other day because I'm a bar comic. And this girl came up to me after a show and she's like, hey, you're really funny. And I was like, oh, thank you. Yeah. She's like, you want to go back to your place? I was like, yeah. Because after shows, I like to go back to my place, you know? It's where I sleep. So we go back to my place, and I had to explain to her my family moved in after the fire, stuff like that. You know? So we go back to my place, right, and we lock the doors, you know, and she's kissing my neck, and she takes off her shirt, and she whispers in my ear. I swear to God, she whispers this. If you tie me up, you can do whatever you want. That's awesome, right? So I tied her up, and I started playing video games. I'm Keith Reza. You guys are awesome, guys.